Welcome to one of my favorite people ever because I'm with Hazel. So this is a client review and we're going to have a great conversation, but I have a feeling that this will probably end up on the podcast. So this is like audio friendly. I'm sat here, so is Hazel on Zoom. And my YouTube channel as well. Hello, because I have like a little playlist in YouTube where sometimes from time to time I'll do like a client interview, client review, I don't know. But my real priority with these conversations is that they just end up being like a valuable chat. Like, literally, no one wants to listen to a boring ass review. And my clients are all the coolest people in the whole world and have so much value to give. So, hi, babe. Thank you for joining.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. I just said to Hazel, we just literally hopped on, and I was like, I'm not even going to prepare us. I'm just gonna let this flow. So I think the best thing is that I let you introduce yourself a little bit. Hazel has worked with me for 6 months. That is right, isn't it? We're on the
It
dot
is, yeah.
6 months. And you're at your point where you're basically about to graduate my program CEO, and move on to some new steps, which is really exciting. And as always, like witnessing your transformation has been absolutely incredible for me. And the thing that I love the most with my work is, on the surface, especially if you didn't know me, it can look quite like, okay, we, position the business to be scalable where it can earn more money and work less time and feel a little bit less in your head. But the transformations run so much deeper than that, and they're all so different. And I have just loved every millisecond so far of working with you. Like, I just have to tell you that. So,
Oh,
like,
thank you. I've loved it too. Do you know what? Just I just have to say because it just came into my head there. Like I told you this before I signed up with you. I like stalked you and binged your podcast, and then like one of the push moments for me was one of these that you did with someone. I can't even remember her name, but I
was
remember watching
it?
it, and then I just got this realization there. I was like, you said think of past days. Like, oh my god, this was me watching this.
Wow, that is so full circle. Oh my God, I did
Yeah.
quite a lot actually, like with my first batch of graduates, because that's like an important thing to do. And then I stalled doing them. I love that. I never
Yeah.
know whether people like love them or not, but I think they're actually like, obviously, if you're gonna invest money in someone, like, let's just call it, like, you want to know what's going on. I've stalked things like that before. And I do think if like the coach isn't a boring bitch, which obviously I'm not, the
Mm.
conversations are so interesting as well. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
And I
oh
think it's
my God.
nice to see real people where like I just don't really fully trust the reviews where it's very staged with a mic and edited and like clips and this and that. Like so seeing
Mm.
real conversations I think definitely help more.
I love that. So Hazel,
Mm.
could you tell the guys what you do?
Yeah.
And then I think it will be so fun to theme this conversation. So
Right.
probably like the best way that I do that, and I absolutely love how much I've not prepared you for this whatsoever, but you'll be great, is just like if when you reflect on our journey together so far, so the 6 months in CEO, just like maybe one or two real feelings from that experience. Is that cool?
Mm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, like a little bit about me. So I'm a mom. I have two kids, and for a good while, I've also been a parent to my two younger sisters. Um, I work part time in a school, but I also am an online personal trainer and nutrition coach. I've done lots of worked with James Smith, a lot of people might know. In Ireland, a lot of people will know Siobhan O'Hagan. So, like when I came into CEO, I was doing all of the things. Like that's where I was. And yeah, so that's where I am now, but more working just on my own business now.
Amazing. And then give us your like feel, theme this for us.
I would say regulated. Like, and I didn't even realize, like, part of me knew I was in fight or flight, but I just assumed that's the way we all were and that that was normal and that if you needed to get shit done, that's the way you needed to be. And I just didn't even realize how good it could feel when you're regulated. Like, because it wasn't in my body. And like now I've said this to you before, like if I feel that feeling of being like dysregulated and overwhelmed and like like where that like I can't believe how tight my chest used to be. Do you know what I mean? Because when I feel it now, I'm like, you used to live like that, you
Mm.
know? And I'll like, even if I'm in the car, I'll like stop and I'm like, no, I'm not doing anything from here. Like, and I'll just like kind of bring myself back. And like you'll always say, like, I'm not being chased by a bear. I'm not.
This is not death.
Yeah.
It's just an Instagram DM.
Yeah. The amount of times I like just need you to say that to me. Like when I even lost like a big contract before and you were like, no, it's fine. I'm like, true story. Yeah.
Because your body literally
Yeah.
thinks it is. That's like the literal function of your body, isn't it? Is that
And
yes.
because I was like that, I was just wasting so much time and filling every moment with like stupid crap that wasn't moving me forward at all. But I thought because I was being productive. Like I told you one day I went down a rabbit hole of like the best mics to buy. And
I was gonna say, can we please have an example? Because when people are like, okay, tangibly tell me how you save so many people time, I'm like,
yeah,
I know you really want a certain answer from me, but it's not going to be what you
no,
expect.
well, like that was one for me. Like I was like, I could actually give you a lot of information about mics because it
I
was
love this.
as if like that was going to be the thing to move me forward. Like I was trying to create this perfect thing all the time, but it was stopping me from doing anything, you know?
Okay, gorgeous. So this is ultimately regulated. Let's have one more in the power region as well.
I would say definitely abundant. Like,
Mm,
as in, like this is something I'm really working on with like receive. My mind was just like closed to opportunity. Like maybe opportunity, then like that's a big one, like, but my mind was just closed to so many things. I couldn't see the good opportunities like coming at me. I couldn't receive anything because I was in this go, 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 go. So I wasn't stopping for a minute to notice anything good. And now, like anything that comes to me, I'm like, oh my God, that's like so amazing. Like even the little things, nothing to do with business, I'm like celebrating them and really bringing in then that feeling of wealth.
I love this. And like Hazel's going to downplay this. The level of abundance that you've received in the last few months. When you, I know this is like potentially a bit above everyone's head before they're in this space, and that's cool.
Mm.
But like when you really bring a
And
person,
it was above my head, by the way, for that
yeah,
person. Thank you.
I'll keep this in like total layman's terms, and then you can
Yeah.
tell me if you're like, babe, just leave this out. It's not going to make sense for anyone until
Mm.
they're inside. When you bring a human being into regulation and alignment, i.e., they actually feel good, they're not in fight or flight, they're not laid in bed stressing about money and stressing about Instagram and stressing about where their
Mm.
next client's going to go and thinking their business is going to fit. When you move someone out of that space, doesn't matter how much success they have or haven't had, and you show them how to build and live their life in alignment. And so that tangibly looks like, do I want to post this piece of content because a coach told me to post it? Or do I want to post this because I feel in my body good about this thing and excited about it? That's alignment, right? Do I want to create this offer because I bought a, program that taught me how to build an offer? Or do I want to build this offer because it feels really good? It feels aligned to me. It just feels right, not following all of the rules. When you bring a person into that space and you open up their mind and you get rid of all of the lacky stuff. Lack is like worrying about money, being sensible, thinking doubts and limits and being critical to themselves every day and posting something and thinking they hate it and walking past the mirror and being mean about their face. When you get rid of the lack, you then become and you show them how to receive so that they can actually receive something, which is as simple as like if someone offers to hold the door open for you, can you walk through it?
Yeah.
Okay. If someone says, God, you look beautiful today, can you go, oh, wow, thank you so much? Okay.
Mm.
You will live happily ever after, and you will receive all of the money and all of the wealth and all of the success and all of the clients and all of the opportunities that you could ever want. And people want to make that harder than it seems, and they want to overcomplicate it, and they want to shit on it, and they want to be like, no, I just need to send 400 cold DMs. That's how I'll gain abundance. And you're like, really, no, like I don't even do follow up. Do you know what I mean?
That's literally what I would have done. So remember, I kind of got onto today with my little panic, like that I wasn't panicked. But when I lost that contract, like
Yeah.
I know past me would have been like on the phone. I would have been emailing other coaches, like looking for other work. I would have been hitting up past clients. I would have been like bang, 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 bang. And you were like, do nothing. And
Hmm.
this week, like, so this all kind of unfolded this week. Like I've told you, the opportunities I've had this week, and I have done nothing. That's why I had to send a screenshot even the other day. It was just like, we need you. Not, I didn't even apply for it. Do you know?
And so let's like expand on this because I think this is a really cool example for the guys to hear before we sort of like talk about your journey more. But I love this.
Mm,
So Hazel, which is more usual than people think, like you're not just 100% in your business. You have a job in the school, and one of your
mm,
worries when we worked together was like a previous coach, I think, like
mm.
no shade on any coaches ever, by the way, but had been
No.
quite strong with you to leave the job, and I think you were
Yeah.
worried that I was going to be like, go all in. Now I will be like that if I feel it's the right moment for
Mm,
someone. Like I will kick someone right up the arse at any given moment if I think they need it and it's right. But I don't have this like weird blanket approach to anything, right? And I'm like, okay, you're raising two kids, actually four, because you know, have the family situation that you do. The business wasn't like this shiny six-figure place, okay? You were still stabilizing, and more importantly, you didn't feel very stable. And I
mm.
was like, I feel like taking this consistent salary away from you is a horrible idea.
Yeah.
Like, leave the job, fuck the job. I'm not interested in the job. And actually, the less attention we give the job, the better, because it was kind of like one of the main events when you first came to work with
Mm,
this whole like, do I keep the job? Do I not keep the job? When do I leave the job? And you know, when a toddler's misbehaving and you're like, kind of the best thing I think you need to do right now is stop giving it so much airtime and like
yeah.
focus on our plan moving forwards. Like, we don't need to worry about that problem and solve that problem right now. So anyway, you also then have a couple of contracts. Like you are, Hazel is
Mm.
insane at what she does, if you're listening to this. Insane. And you have the best approach. Like all of my guys have such unique approaches to what you do, and you're phenomenal with the women that you help.
Mm.
So you coach for like James Smith PT, all those kind of things. And so one of these big contracts overnight went and wasn't handled very well. And so Hazel messages me and she's a bit like, what the fuck do I do? And I was like, just really digested this for a minute. And I was like, nothing. Now, what I don't ever want to be bracketed as like one of those woo people, like my background is in strategy.
No,
I am very
you're not.
strategic,
Mm,
okay? I am not the kind of person that will just irrationally tell someone to just like not work or not do anything.
mm,
But the concept behind this is something so powerful because I think if we have this conversation as if old Hazel was listening, because it's
mm.
so full circle, right?
Yeah.
You'd be like, okay, help me understand this. I'm open to hearing it, but like
Mm,
already I'm freaking at the thought of not putting myself out there and trying to fill the contract again. But the reason this works and has obviously worked again for you and works, and again, it wouldn't necessarily always be my suggestion, it depends
mm,
on the moment, is because the way that I teach you guys to operate is from an unconditional like energy, ultimately holding your nerve, right? So
yeah.
like the same energy that you would have if you were having a 20 grand month and you spent half of that walking on the beach, okay? And when you can not just pretend to be that way, but when you feel that way and you operate from that space and you act accordingly as if, acting as if, feeling as if, nothing changes. Everything will continue to increase because ultimately you were on such and have been on such an upward trajectory, right?
Yeah.
Financially, with the business, with the clients, with opportunities that are finding you, everything is starting to massively align in your personal life at home. So we don't need to do anything out of lack and out of scarcity and out of panic because ultimately you were good, weren't you? Like financially,
Yeah.
you were fine.
Yeah.
So the worst thing that people do is function from this constant fucking emotional roller coaster where it's like 1 minute because they've landed a sale that day, they're feeling pretty good, so they'll post like a powerful piece of content. The next day, again, because of said external circumstance, maybe they lose a client, maybe
Mm,
they lose a contract. Now they start functioning and acting and being from a totally different, and then they are on this roller coaster. Whereas actually, if you just stay in your power, everything's working out anyway. Like it doesn't mean, like I teach you guys, that you can't put your foot on the gas at times, but you want to do that from a place of not from lack. Like you don't want to go and grab an opportunity from a place of like, I need money.
Yeah. And I think like when you're in that place, I know previously I would have made the wrong decisions. Like I would have probably taken any job that
Mm.
like came at me, or any client or any opportunity, and it's like even nearly when I think of like what I'd even say to like a nutrition client, like you can't make good food choices while you're starving, because you're starving. You're just gonna pick the cake. You're starving. You're not gonna go for the salad. So you need to like with food, it needs to be stable. It needs to be coming in. So that's what I feel like that day. Why when you said, I was like, you're so downplaying yourself, do nothing. Like, but that is what I needed to hear, so that I didn't start like irrationally like messaging people or looking for jobs that like weren't a good fit for me, and then just getting myself back in the same situation. And what I'll add to it is this has, like, I haven't even said this to you yet. It's actually been a blessing in disguise, and I haven't even realized it. Like my content has been better since I've lost this contract. I feel better like day to day. Like the money from it might be gone, but I didn't realize even how much headspace it was taking up. So it's actually all just been a blessing in disguise. And then I've had two big opportunities that align with me much more than what I was doing anyway in that contract. And I probably wouldn't have had the space to do them if I was still there. And like I wish I could even like right now show the screenshots. This isn't like when I say opportunities, I mean just messages. Like one is a big opportunity coming up, and it's like NHS funded. Like it's a big one. And someone literally just, I didn't apply for this. I didn't go seeking it out. Someone just messaged me and was like, look, this might be coming up. You'd be perfect for it. Will I put you forward? And I was like, absolutely. Like no interview, no nothing. And then the other is like a job in a gym, but not just so like, again, I didn't want to work just in a gym like 9 to 5 cleaning machines, working on reception and all. This is a nice bougie gym where my only job will be going in, teaching classes and working with people. And again, like a couple of days after the message, literally just said, we need to get you in to teach. Like that was it,
Love it.
without applying for it.
So proud of you. I feel like one of my favorite changes that I've seen in you that will make so much sense to anyone listening and probably give them a bit more security as well is like,
Yeah.
okay, that could still be put down to chance, will help it make more sense as to how it isn't, and there is a lot of strategy behind it.
Mm,
And one of those favorite changes for me has been your change in sales. So if you don't know me that well, anyone listening, one of my real area of expertise is marketing and sales in particular. My background was hugely in sales. And I will not lie, my sales training is 10 out of 10.
it is. It
And
is.
so I love how well you took to that training because you could sell before. Everyone that comes into the
Mm,
space is amazing at sales. But maybe talk to the guys a little bit about just any of your personal, like, favorite things that you want to celebrate yourself about, that like the changes to sales or what you feel like you've learned, or just what the difference is. Because when we learn sales and of course marketing, your content is like a 10 out of 10 now, right? You're just so like you and
I am.
it's
I had
so
like I'm a
good.
bit obsessed with my own content lately. Like I was watching my stories yesterday and I was like,
I
chef's
love
kiss, that
it.
is that's good, Hazel.
I always just want to love bomb you whenever I see it. I'm like, fuck, I'm such a fan. So like when you are strategically working on the most fucking important part behind your business, which is marketing and sales, okay,
Yeah.
that then shines through the hard work you're already doing. Like it's all good and well someone being like, but I'm doing all the things I'm already posting.
Mm,
Well, are you posting to the absolute best of your energy's ability? Because you can
yeah.
follow a fucking template, but if behind it you're not like, damn, I'm obsessed with myself, I am feeling it, like it's not shining through. So then, of course, these opportunities are finding you because you've consistently been operating from that space for a long period of
Yeah.
time now. And so then it's very easy for people to, you run your business off Instagram. So land on your page and be like, boom, okay, she's the right fit for this, which is why you
Mm.
don't need to do some like weird knee-jerk thing. So tell us how that feels for you now. I don't know.
It just feels so good because I don't feel so pushy. Like I made like my highest sale ever with you. It was like one sale, €700. I had never done that before. And like before the call, I didn't feel weird at all. It didn't even feel like a sales call. Like I had like Lissy always says, she's already in. Like I had that writ in front of me and her name. So it was just, it's so much easier to sell from that place, not that like needy, like you said, lackey place, and then kind of nearly even writing it off with high ticket that they're never going to buy anyway. Like no one's going to pay this. That's what I would have thought before, but now I know that like that's not true, and that I have the ability to sell at that level, and that it's me that people are buying into ultimately. Like, it's not the strategy, it's not anything like that. It's me that they're buying into. So if I can show more of me, it's just so much more natural. And like I just love the clients I have now. Like I was doing their check-ins there, and it's like checking in with mates. And I was like, I said it on my stories the other day. I was like, I'm just attracting the most lovely humans, and then that just makes working so much nicer as well.
I love this. So what we've done with you as well is like, again, something that every single person that comes to work with me will do, which is look at your positioning, um,
Mm,
which is so juicy and exciting. Like people love this, positioning is very different to these things because positioning is like literally who is my business positioned to? And we've all had an ideal client document. Everyone would be able to tell you one or three of their sort of ideal client, but there's a real difference. I teach something called the invested client, which changes the game. And I have taught multiple people that are in marketing this as well. I've got people that educate on positioning that have come in and done this training and
mm,
are marketing experts themselves. And so being able to go through this positioning training, I think, is what's really created such a beautiful result for you where like I'm sure you've always liked your clients but you can't, again, a bit like when you don't know you're so dysregulated, like you don't actually know how good it can get with the clients that you're working with. But when your hard work, your content, your message, your energy is positioned towards a client who's like, yeah, I'm ready to buy. Yeah, I want to do the work. Yeah, I want to go all in. Yeah, I want to like geek out on your whole program. Yeah, by the way, I want to send you like a cute result. Like it just feels euphoric, doesn't it?
yeah, exactly. And it's definitely who I'm attracting, because in terms of the opportunity, like I'm getting clients in different ways. So when I landed back after your event, Iconic, and I literally was like writing on the plane, planning out a talk I was going to do. And then a girl messaged me and was like, do you do talks? Like, I'd love you to come it's a past client of mine, into my office and like talk about this. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like, so that was the type of person again that I was attracting in. Like, she's a high performing woman, and she's like, yeah, I need you in, need you to talk about this. And it was just bish bash bosh done. Like there was no negotiating between either of us. So that's who I'm loving seeing coming into my world. Like,
Best. And then your confidence is such on the rise. And as much as I teach, like, you become it first and act and get the result second, like, ultimately, that external piece of evidence is important, like, it does make you feel good when the women in your
mm,
spaces, you're like, damn, like, sometimes, like, the women that I sign, I'm like, I need to keep my fucking game going up,
yeah,
and like, well, that's good for us, like,
yeah,
that's what you want, right? Like,
mm,
you want to be stretched, but one of the places that people have no idea that they're keeping themselves small is they're aiming way too low because they don't think they're good enough for a better client.
mm. And
Um,
I think as well, like definitely something that's totally opened up to me, like with the opportunity thing, is like all I tried to sell was my online coach, and I just like I
mm,
wasn't even available for anything else. Like I wouldn't have thought outside the box at all. Do you know what I mean? Like as in like since working with you, like I've done like morning retreats, and that has brought in new people. I've done so many different things. I'm going to an event actually this weekend. Like I'm teaching strength classes in Southampton at a Galentine's event. Like I would have shut that down. Like I would have, no, I'm too busy. I'm too busy for anything like that. Like and it's not my online coaching. It's distracted. It's this, it's that. I would have just like shut it all down and not been open to like opportunities that would have been like slapping me in the face and bringing in the type of client that I want, because I was also putting in the same hard work and effort as slamming a low paid membership like
yeah.
that I'm putting into selling one to one. That's like three times the price.
And people are so friggin' territorial around their memberships. I finally managed to close one down yesterday as well. Like, if you've got a membership, we need to talk, okay?
Yeah.
Someone had a £26 membership and she is like world class. And I was like, But there's different ways that you can package a
Yeah,
membership.
exactly. Yeah.
Different ways. Like I started with a membership, I absolutely loved it, but
Mm,
like, and I still have one. I have a, graduate's membership. There's
mm,
there's a time and a place for a membership, but sometimes when you have a membership, it's time to have a conversation to reassess the membership. Because like you say, a lot of people are slamming a lot of work for a low ticket membership, and they just need to have a conversation with someone who could just go, what we could do instead is this, this, and this,
mm,
and it will broaden your horizons. And it might not be like you don't know what you don't know. Like it really might not be something that you already think you know. Like it mightn't be that you turn it into a program, and it mightn't just be like that you just need to leap high ticket. It's just that there's various ways that you can do it. But I'd
mm,
loved to see you diversify, and my background's in like a bricks and mortar business. That was my first business for 8 years.
mm,
So I think my take is potentially a little bit different from a lot of coaches who have worked corporate and then gone online. Like, I think having the agility to do in-person stuff is important, and in a way that works for you. And like we've had conversations to make sure that it never makes you feel tied. But
mm.
equally, like I know how much momentum that's brought your business from doing like one-off stuff, and having the
Or
con
look, my boot camp thing. I
yeah,
forgot about that.
yeah. I loved seeing
Just
you do
remember, I
that.
was like, oh, I should do classes. But then I have to rent a space. Then I have to do this. And you were like, do boot camp. Went down to my went down to my community center, booked it for 6 weeks, sold out the boot camp, and like I'm not. That's so I'm not tied to that. Like I can't do it next Wednesday because my daughter has a musical. I'm like, it's not on, girls. Like,
It's done. And it's
that's
like
it.
you can
I
do like
don't pay for the room when I'm not there. It's but again, I wouldn't have even let myself
mm,
try set something like that up because I would have just thought I'll have too many overheads and I'll be tied to it. And I
mm.
figured out a way that doesn't happen now.
And I think it's just like so funny, isn't it? Like you say about that, like things are slapping people in the face a lot of the time. But
Mm,
it's the same thing with the emotional gains that you've gained from doing a lot of the variety of different things that you've done over the last 6 months is you've gained a shit ton of confidence, a shit ton of
mm,
contacts. Um, like that confidence in itself, like when I did my in-person event, I said like I'd have paid 50 grand for the confidence that that gave me. The end. Like I'd have invested that to just be given that. And so often, when you were coming in, I know there was a bit of a confidence wobble with you, but like again, the very things that are going to earn us or gain us or give us that thing, we're not leaning into, and that's why gently being moved into that arena is so important. So, shall we just say a few things to like previous Hazel? Let's think that like Hazel last June was listening to this. What are like three-ish things that you would love to like reassure her or tell her, or, three things that you know now from the experience and skills that you've gained here and everything you've achieved?
I'm definitely that it can get better. Like you are not the problem. I was very hard on myself. Like, you know, you're the problem. I'm definitely there, like that it can get better. That, like I said, you are safe, and I know just before I was signing up with you, when I was trying to make the decision, because I had lost total trust in myself and my ability to make these decisions. But I was just like asking myself, do you want to stay like this forever? And that's what I would say, even like to anybody listening to this, like if it resonates at all, like, do you want to stay in this place? Because like what you're doing isn't working and you can feel better. It doesn't have to require more of you. You can feel better.
That's so beautiful. I love that. And so like looking forwards now, um, at the future, what do you
Mm.
feel is like in store for you, and what is different for you now versus where things would have been, had we not gone on this journey together?
Definitely wealth. Like I just know I'm like owning it, and like some of my words are just like that, like wealth, bougie, luxury. Like that's all just part of who I am and who's coming, and like that big things are gonna happen. Like I just have no doubt that like I'm on the cusp of like blowing up.
You so are. And then before we go, I'm just going to ask a few basic bitch questions to you, if that's
Go for it.
okay. Couple of like the results, and again, like just
Mm,
be as always, like just give it straight, it's fine. But like a couple of the results that people ultimately want to hire me for is like they're guessing their everyday. So like the whole
mm.
thing is a guess. Like what tangibly do you feel different there? What's changed? Like are you guessing every day still, or like were you there before? You feel like you were.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I was Googling mites. That's where I was.
I love it. Um,
Apparently Hollyland are the best. 200.
Amazing. Great. So what's changed there for you?
No, like I know exactly what I'm doing. Like you're like the tick list of like serve, sell, market. And if I get those things done before a time when I think I should be finished work, I'm finished work. I'm not like if I have an extra hour before the kids come home, busying myself with like stupid shit. Like I'm like, no, you're finished work. You've done what you had to do. Like don't fill the gap because you have to fill the gap. You know what I mean? I know what I'm going to do every single day. Like I'll write it down the night before. I have a board in front of me, and it's easeful. And that was a big part of what I wanted coming in. Like I wanted it to be easeful, and it is.
Obsessed. Give me a tangible change if there is one in leads. Before a lot of people feel like they are literally guessing where their next lead is going to come from, and they're constantly worrying that no one's ever going to buy their shit again, even if they've had like great months and they don't know what to do there, or they've been taught to do like really rigid levels of like follow up and like hassling people in the DMs. What feels like it's tangibly different there for you, if anything?
No, it definitely again feels more easeful and less pushy. Like when I get a lead and when someone signs up with me now, I'm not questioning whether I have pushed them into that, which like again sent my nervous system. Ugh, like when because you're like, are they actually coming in because they want to, or is it because like I've hounded them or using this like icky sales pushy and made them feel crap about themselves? Because like just a few years ago, like probably 2 or 3 years ago, I was with like a mentor. It was a man, and like cold calling people and just icky stuff. And so even if they did sign up, I was like, do they even want to be here? Like I even said it to him one time. I was like, I think people are clicking on this and they'd click on it if it was a set of blinds that I was selling, like just those type of people. Do you know what I mean? Like, so
Okay.
when someone's in, I'm not questioning, you know, whether it's right for them or not, because everything is there. Everything I say is true. Everything I say is me. So I don't have to question when they come in, is it right for them? I think it's just a done deal that it is.
I fucking love that. And we use a little system called the lead board. So there's,
Yeah,
there's
mine's in
lots.
front of me there.
She's got it right here.
Yeah.
Which is such a more like feminine, non-ick way of still being strategic and not
Yeah.
like, is a lead gonna come in? Like, you know where your leads are. That's so important. But I teach a couple of different ways where you would then alter some of your actions to be positioned towards your leads, which just
Mm.
encourages the leads to make that decision or not without needing to hassle people in the DMs, which is why taking a marketing angle, marketing approach to lead is much, much more effective, where we basically focus on attraction marketing and you can do
Or
whatever.
putting them on a spreadsheet that like I wouldn't look at. Like that's what I was taught for. Like track your leads on a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And I know like maybe I shouldn't like identify it, but hate spreadsheets. I didn't go back and look at spreadsheets. This is in my face every day.
Yeah.
It's right there. Do you know, like there's no avoiding it. Like my family know my leads.
And I'm exactly the same. Mine are in my kitchen. And
Yeah.
like, and that's like the beauty of having a business that's actually in alignment for you. Like just doing
Yeah.
something or like use Notion because your coach uses Notion. Well, I fucking hate Notion, okay? I like everything on a whiteboard and a piece of paper and I'm doing
Same.
just fine. So it's
Mm.
like equally, I have clients who fucking love a spreadsheet. Love that for them. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Love that for them. Like it doesn't, your way is always going to be the best way so long as you're
Mm.
educated with those better tools. So then that last question, the absolute golden one, is how we have scaled your business, which is so
Mhm.
exciting. So we've moved you from one-to-one only to a signature scalable offer. Um, what would you say to anyone who's thinking, I don't know how to scale my business? Just one take that you've really learned from going through that process very quickly as well.
that it is possible. And if you think you can't get people the same results with a scaled program, you can. Actually, it's more beneficial because you're not reiterating the same stuff. Like, so my program, I was talking to a client this morning, she was struggling with something on a check-in, and I was like, go back to week, blah, 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 blah. You need to listen to that again. I'm not wasting time reiterating the same thing over and over again. When you know your client, you know what they need, you can build a program. Yeah, of course, then they have one-to-one elements, but essentially they all need the same tools, and that can be built in a program. And I've found it actually better than having nothing in place.
Agree. And it saves so much time. And then you can focus on building the business, not working
Mhm.
in the business, but you're still getting those nice points of one-to-one. Like you're still getting all the stuff that we love,
Mhm.
human interaction. Like I'm yet to build anything 100% passive with and for someone.
Mhm.
Actually once a small offer, but other than that, like it's not that you need to have one or the other, like any rigid ideas that people have. It doesn't have to be like that. It will if you buy a course. It's just like how to build a course.
Yeah.
But if you do things in a bespoke way, then it really won't. Well, I have fucking loved this. Is there
Yes.
anything else you want to say? Don't feel like you need to give me some kind of sales pitch or to everyone about me, but anything that you feel like, a real lesson from your journey or anything that would just inspire anyone that's listening. I don't know.
Well, I'm just thinking of me before I bought, and like if anyone listening has like lost that trust in themselves because they've made like maybe crappy decisions before in their business, like this won't be one of those decisions for you. Like you'll get so much more than you even bargained for. Like not only has this benefited me, I'm actually going to get a bit emotional now, but like my kids as well. Yeah, just trust yourself. You will not regret it.
Adore you. I'm so grateful.
Oh.
Hazel's taken her boy on like the whole journey, and you shared something this morning in
Mm.
the Telegram that I was just,
Yeah.
oh my God, like the difference. Not that like you were amazing before and you'd worked on
Mm.
yourself and like you've always been an
Mhm.
amazing mom, but there are so many levels available to us that we, like we say, we don't even know. And when we are progressively doing work on ourselves, not pretending to do work on ourselves or half doing mindset work, really genuinely like moving into our next level, you bring your kids with it and it's
Mm.
something that you can't describe, like you're calm. And what are some of the things that your boy has done? Because it's just like killed
This
me.
is so funny. I was like actually so glad to ask. I was like, but so like when I was writing out my goals like at the start, and he was like, I'm gonna do that too. Like he's like mad about football, and he was like playing for like if anyone like basically like a lower division. And he was like, no, I want like I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be so much better. And he didn't just go for like one division up. He was like, I'm going for like the second highest league in Ireland. I'm trying for that team. He got it. His like he has his little goals wrote down there, and he's like going to be saying he's going to be top goal scorer. His one of his coaches messaged me the other day and was like, Hazel, he's nearly there. Like he's going to Barcelona in April to play football. Like he is just unreal how he has came along this with me, and just fully by like I've been saying everything to him like you this is done, like you're gonna do it, like you don't even need to question, like it's done, you're gonna get there. And that's just the way he's saying it. So like he will say things to me, so when I'm playing like Premier or like when I'm doing this, or like, just little things like you're gonna come with me when I have to go to like England and things like this, like it's just done for him, and his confidence is unreal. And like I have messages there from coaches and all to say like the difference is unreal.
Not us just completely crying on this
I
podcast.
know, yeah.
It's
Mm,
just so amazing though. I'm so proud of
mm,
you. And there was actually just like I'm done, and then I was like, actually, there was just one thing that I wanted to put on. Oh, I know what I have to say before I go. One of my favorite parts of your transformation was when you came to me, you were like hating on them on like I don't really teach mindset, but you were like hating on anything woo and mindset. Do you remember? And you were like, I've done that shit. Do you remember you'd almost like broken up with it? You were like, it
yeah.
failed me. It failed me.
I got like, without being like too traumatic, like when my mom passed away and I was shoved into that situation, I was like hating the world and did think it all failed me, and like nothing worked, and woo was just not for me. definitely that's where I was.
Wow. And I think like that's probably why I mean, I didn't know that you took a like you were binging the podcast and stuff, obviously, because
Mm,
that's the beauty of a podcast, and you've got a podcast as well.
yeah.
But I think that's the beauty is people can just hear what they need to hear, and you must have heard like because I remember you being like, okay, I've come round to the idea that maybe I need both.
Yes.
Okay,
Just maybe.
maybe I do need just both together, and I was like, it's gonna work, I promise you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
And like
love that.
you're the best person to teach on this. Like, and it's again a reason why I signed up with you because of like your story and your background, that like you weren't just someone teaching the woo who had like already an amazing life with no struggles and like the perfect family life. And I knew I would never going to be able to get on board with anyone like that anymore. Like like I felt like my life was like Jeremy Kyle, and they would think
Yeah.
that I was making it up. But I was like, I think she'll get this.
And I love it how many there's just been like a few moments over the last few months where you're like, "Oh, I just love it when you say that. It just
Yeah.
reminds me that you just actually are so normal. And I'm like, babe, absolutely.
When you have to get your charger. That's the one that always
Halfway through
I'm
one of
like,
my recordings, I'm like literally in here, I'm like, guys, I have to
yeah.
go get my charger. And everyone's like exhales. They're like, oh my God, my
And
business sounds like it would
literally,
be perfect to change the world and make me loads of money.
it's
No, it
probably
really
like
does.
one of the best parts of CEO. Like, I'm
I've
not
I
joking.
actually had more comments on like section two. You have to go and get your charger at one point. I've had more compliments on that point than I think the whole
So,
program. I'm like, leave it in there. It's such a very
yeah,
I love this. Thank you for your time. You've been
no
fucking
problem.
amazing.
Thanks for
I
having me on.
knew it. This is so full circle. I love it.
Mm,
Anyone that's listening, to just summarize what Hazel has gone through, it's my program CEO.
mm,
My programs have changed lately, so if you feel at an earlier point of business, there's options for you as well that are revenue appropriate. I'm not some psycho that's going to charge you 10 grand, even when you're like a startup point. But
mm,
what Hazel's done in CEO is essentially what you have is you have lifetime access to my program. And in there, you have my multi six-figure marketing, content, time management, sales blueprint. And we literally make your scalable business plan together and execute it together. I put a rocket up your ass. But then also, you have the inner work so that you can become all of the amazing things that you've heard about in here. No more overthinking, no more stressing about money, no more holding yourself back, no more not enjoying your business, no more building things that are outside of alignment for you. And really, the byproduct of that is that you work so much less. So that is what she's gone through. You'll find a link somewhere. It's application only, and you can fill in the application form, and we'll just see if we're a fit. I'll only offer it to you if I think that you are a fit. I'm super protective of our space, which doesn't mean that you need to be some like crazy ass big earner. If you are, then welcome. We have those in there too. But it more means like it's a vibe check, like our community inside CEO is just absolutely phenomenal, as I know Hazel will also
it really.
agree. It's, there's business done in there and friendships done in
Mm.
there and
I was on Zara's podcast this morning.
oh
That's why
my
I
God,
said,
I love that.
yeah,
I'm like hire each other, make friends with each other,
yeah.
go on each other's podcasts. Yeah. And the reason that the vibe in there is so amazing is that everyone's aligned. So basically, if you feel like you can stand me on the podcast, then you're probably a perfect fit and it'll be great.
Mm.
Thank you so much. So grateful for you.
Thank you.